What's going on, Libra? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your 2024 yearly annual predictions reading. So in this reading, Libra, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for 2024. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding the year ahead and so much more, Libra. But before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance, Libra, for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading does happen to resonate with you, Libra, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here, Libra. So without further ado, I'm now going to pull the energy, and we'll see what is coming your way for the year 2024, Libra. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides for overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Libra. Let's see what we got going on here for you, Libra. Ooh. All right, Libra. Interesting energy that you got going on here for you. I would predict that overall this is going to be a great year, especially when it comes to expanding your social circle. I feel like there's a lot of new friends or a lot of new people that are going to come in and impact your life in a big way. But people, not some sort of idea that you read from a book, but people. The influence of a person's energy can work wonders on you, because I always say that people are portals. When someone enters into a relationship with you, you exchange energetic files, and you may be opened up to things that you never even dreamed of. And I feel like there's going to be the idea of people coming in to really open up your eyes to what your destiny is going to be, or destined relationships are a big theme for you in 2024. And there's nothing here that I'm really worried about, but there does seem to be a little bit of a conflict with a soulmate. I'm getting that many relationships are going to be entering into your life, but what you don't see coming is the end of a relationship with you and someone who you once thought to be a soulmate, who you thought this is the person I'm going to be with, this is a person in my family. There's one soulmate where you don't see it coming, it's over. But in general, the idea of people are going to be great. But before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. And these oracle cards, Libra, contain the energy that you need more of, the energy that spirit wants you to embody for your own highest good and for the highest good of all. The first one you have is the snake. And this is about rebirth and death, okay, and a complete transformation here. So the snake, this card wants you to consider your place in eternity. And this is a reminder all of you need to hear that we are evolved primates on a spinning rock in space. And so whatever you have going on, it will be washed away from the ocean. This is to put everything in perspective, that yes, your life subjectively is important, but at the same time, we're all in this together, and there's a bigger cycle going on. So never lose sight of your connection to the bigger picture is what I'm getting here, Libra. But there is something coming to my awareness about this rebirth card, Libra. The main thing for all of you listening is that there's about to be a cycle in your life that is potentially going to be repeated unless there is death, rebirth, and major change, okay? And transformation. So you're on the verge potentially to repeat a cycle that you've already grown out of, a cycle that you've already learned the wisdom of how to move beyond, but it may be of convenience to you just to repeat a cycle out of potentially survival as a human, behavioral patterns. So something needs to change for a cycle to not be repeated. That's the first thing, because if you just basically do what you've always been doing, I feel like there's gonna be a repeated cycle here, potentially in love as well. So hold on, we're gonna keep going. The next energy you need more of is wisdom in reverse. And that's interesting. Wisdom in reverse here. This card points to distorted fact or stubborn belief that you may be holding on to. There's a danger here for you to just stubbornly believe something and tell yourself that it's wisdom, when in fact it's something that you're using to shield yourself as a defense mechanism in order to not be vulnerable. I definitely feel the idea, an accumulation of knowledge and too much wisdom is going to stunt you and it's going to paralyze you. And it's interesting to me, Libra, that the challenge for you this year is the Queen of Swords. And I feel like this can be a little, closing down of the heart or being too obsessed with wisdom. Oh my God, this isn't the wise thing for me to do, so I'm not going to do it. Too much wisdom can lead to blasphemy. And there is a potential here for you to repeat a cycle in your life having to do with foolishness. I'm getting the word ignorance or foolishness here, Libra. So you have to be aware of wisdom in reverse. And you have to be willing, I would suggest, to face uncomfortable truths, because sometimes truth and wisdom doesn't, the truth will piss you off. First, the truth will piss you off, then it will set you free. So make sure that you're not just accumulating mental things to keep yourself safe. I think that's definitely a pitfall. So too much, sometimes you have to act from the Aries. What's the opposite of Libra? Aries. Impulsive. There could be something to do with that here. You need to more so be in your body instead of your head. Getting lost in the head, cutting out the body. I don't want to see that happen to you. And now you also have the chameleon. Once again, it's in reverse. So you have the chameleon in reverse. And so this is saying to me, you can't be afraid to let your soul shine and to be seen for who you really are. But in some sort of way, Libra, disguising yourself or running away or disguising who you are, trying to blend in, is a good tool for survival, but maybe not when you're wanting to expand as much as you could in this life. So you must not, you have to be careful to not blend in so fully that you lose yourself, basically, is what I'm getting from this here, Libra. And don't be afraid to show yourself, but it's weird that you have disguise and wisdom in reverse. So I feel like whatever, be careful of trying to manipulate reality. Be careful of trying to over-intellectualize and work with the law of, trying to do things too much in your head, whereas the universe reveals its secrets to those who dare to follow their heart. And it doesn't always seem guaranteed, and it seems like you're exposing yourself or whatever, but I really feel like there's something here having to do with courage to have a rebirth in your life. And in order to not repeat a cycle, it looks to me like you're going to have to drop wisdom. And obviously, don't drop wisdom. We need wisdom. But for you, it's like you're already Libra. As a Libra, you already put yourself in people's perspective. So maybe a little less wisdom and a little bit less disguise. No more 2 Facebook accounts. No more, Austin, I send my mom the Leo readings that I think she would enjoy. But then she's like, where's the Leo reading? Hi, Mom, I don't want you to watch that one. No more disguising it, Mom. The Leo readings will be upgraded. That will be updated, will be uploaded. They're just going to be uploaded. I'm not going to cater, watch this one, don't watch this one. No more disguising, Mom. I love you. But all the Leo readings are valid. So no more 2 Facebook accounts, whatever. And so, it's interesting that came out reversed. But no, your opportunity this year is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a portal of change, and it's a great opportunity to go along with the rebirth. You're definitely going to have ample opportunity to make a major change. But the Wheel of Fortune has to do with your destiny, the wheel of your fate starting to spin, and a major portal of change. So this is your opportunity. We're going to have to see why, Libra, it's your opportunity when we clarify in a moment. But I would say with the Wheel of Fortune being your opportunity, don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Hopefully no one takes that literally. Oh my God, sometimes I forget I'm talking to people who take what I say literally, even though it's clearly a joke. And so just be aware of that. So the Wheel of Fortune is in your opportunity. And I do feel like it has to do with relationships, like I said. I feel like there's going to be a lot of relationships coming into your life that are going to help you shine in a certain way. But, your challenge is the Queen of Swords. And I feel like this is perhaps to do with that chameleon in reverse and the wisdom in reverse, right? The Queen of Swords is someone who's intellectual. She rules communication. She rules the mind, but she also rules boundary and saying no and cutting off and being cold. The Ice Queen, dare I say. And so with this is definitely not closing yourself down to people out of fear, because fear is false evidence appearing real. I feel like this is you could really get lost in your head, which then causes you to miss opportunities. Because I tried to take the Wheel of Fortune out, and when I did, it went like that. And it was just like reverse. So I feel like being too cold, shutting yourself out is never going to be the right thing. And there could be a little bit of a problem with authenticity this year. And in general, whenever someone says, now there are obviously exceptions to this, but generally, spiritually speaking, whenever I hear someone that comes to a reading and they're like, no, I just need space. I just want to live alone. I just need to be by myself. I'm like, do you really? Or are you just not being authentic? Do you think it's impossible to be authentic with people? So instead of thinking I need space, think, am I being authentic? That's what I would suggest for you this year. And so there also could be a conflict with an air sign woman. And for some of you, I'm getting the mother. For some of you, you need to stop disguising yourself to your mother, thinking that somehow is going to save your life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There could be an air sign that you don't want to upset. There could be a woman who's upset with you when they discover who you really are. And instead of being the Libra, hey, we get our nails done every Thursday. We go get the Gucci. We get the nice food. And it's just like, she's my favorite friend. I don't know what to do if I don't go out with Cynthia. And how am I supposed to have that continue if I'm just being authentic? It wouldn't work. Well, it's time to give up that relationship. So then we go to your overall general energy. It doesn't look like anything is popping off like crazy this year for you. I think this year is going to start off slow, and then you're going to have a bang in the summer, probably literal as well as metaphorical, and then as well as something closes out during the end of the year. You have the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. So on the surface, there's a lot of optimism, patience, new beginnings, and letting go. And this is definitely a fiery energy to begin the year. I feel like there could be a lot of impatience at the beginning of the year. I want to do something, I don't know what to do, I'm indecisive. But by the middle of the summer, or even by, a few months from now, from when you're listening to this in like February, there's definitely going to be a new beginning popping up for you, but it may be short-lived. I don't know. Some of you, I'm going to predict that you're going to enter into a soulmate relationship and it's going to end pretty quickly this year, but it's not going to leave you alone. I do get a short-lived soul contract coming in to teach you something about yourself and you to reflect something about them. And if you can make that normal and not to make an enemy out of that, and we're all watching these stupid shows who try to convince us that if we don't have our marriage figured out, we have our life in shambles. I feel like there's a soul contract coming in to expand you that may not last long. It may be something that's very quick to start, but then that even quicker fades out. And I'm telling you, it could happen over the summer, could be developing right now as we speak. You have the Eight of Cups. So by the end of the year, I see you walking away from something, a potential new relationship that started, that for some sort of reason you walk away from. Now, be careful that you're not walking away for the wrong reasons, because the Queen of Swords is in your challenge. You may shut down for some sort of reason that is a trauma response rather than a reaction to what is actually happening. And I do feel like for some of you, with the Wheel of Fortune being in your opportunity, the Queen of Swords being in your challenge, make sure that your trauma from the past, thinking that, oh my God, I was in that traumatic situation before, that's how it's going to go this time, I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to shut down. Make sure that you don't, because wisdom in reverse as well. I feel like you're going to be using your wisdom to avoid something this year, but I think it's going to lead to more of a repeating cycle because you didn't learn the thing, is honestly what I feel. And this could have to do with what I'm saying, but in what you don't see coming, you have the Two of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Swords here. So there's a new relationship for a lot of you that could end very quickly. But the first thing that I detected for many of you is that there is an existing soul contract. Could be a soulmate with a friend, a family member, a past lover, someone that is time to move on from. Okay? Like maybe you're not aligned and your growth lies elsewhere, and there's some sort of major soul contract for you, Libra, this year that comes to an end. And for a lot of you, it could make you overthink. And I would say, for those of you dealing with that, make sure you just say, everyone's valid, everyone's compatible with someone, maybe we're just not aligned. But for some of you, there's going to be a very fast relationship that starts, and then there's going to be one that ends. Some of you, if you're a single Libra, I'm predicting that you're going to even date multiple people this year. Maybe some starts, some finishes. And maybe that's not what you want to hear, but that's literally what I'm predicting. And the reason why we do tarot is because we see the timeline. This is the most likely timeline for Libras. And if you don't like what you see, then you can then make a change you can then make a change to change the timeline. Like, I don't read these readings like they're set in stone. We read the readings so if you don't like what you see, you can make a change. Steve Jobs doesn't let his children play with iPhones. The owner of McDonald's doesn't need McDonald's. And the autistic mystic doesn't do readings for himself unless he wants to look at the timeline and then make literal changes to the timeline. I don't just read this with like, I'm screwed. Anyway, let's go ahead now and go to your advice. Your advice is the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So there could be a passionate, lovey-dovey choice that you have to make between two men, dare I say. For others of you, if it's not that, I just get a lot of people. There could even be a couple coming in. There could be people who are dating, who are married, that like, wow, you're just the new family friend. Libra, I feel like there's an existing couple, like people who are happily together. There's going to be no question about these two people coming together. There could be a fire sign, two fire signs that you're just friends with. It's a good business collaboration. This also has to do with business collaboration because the Wands does have to do with, enterprise. And I feel like with this being in your advice, partnerships and business would be very good for you this year. You also have the King of Cups, though. And so for some of you, I feel like you're going to be dating multiple people. You're going to be playing the field and really trying to figure it out. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. This is what the timeline is reading right now. But there also could be, it's interesting. It's like, right, you got the Queen of Wands in the middle of these two kings. And so for some of you Libras out there, there's definitely going to be a real messed up situation, or not messed up, but there's going to be a tough choice in love for you. Because on the one hand, someone can provide you one thing. On the other hand, another person can provide you something else. And I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth that whoever you decide to end up with this year in 2024, you'll always feel like, oh, well, that other person had the thing that this person is lacking, and this person is not, it doesn't look like the complete package is coming into your life. I don't see any Emperor, I don't see any Empress, I don't see any High Priestess, I don't see any Hierophant, I see Court cards. And when you see Court cards, generally someone is having a trait that is also lacking in another area, which may lead to problems down the line. With that being said, let's go ahead and start clarifying this reading. The sun is coming out. It's beautiful. I'm going to go surfing right there after this. All right, let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. Why is the Wheel of Fortune in your opportunity this year, Libra? Let's go ahead and see. I also see there being a potential of you getting into a really weird choice in love, and this choice in love that you're experiencing are the choice between two different fragmented parts of yourself that you have started to display and explore more, but perhaps the real you is the one that you're hiding, and which is why you're going to run into, perhaps, dare I say, an incompatible quick start, quick end relationship. There's something about the Queen of Swords being in your challenge with the Queen of Wands, and you have the Chameleon in reverse, you have the Queen of Wands, and you have the King of Cups, King of Wands. There could be something about you, like, being tugged between two people, and you're dating these people, and you're going here, you're meeting these people, and it's like you're tugged between these two things because the real thing isn't either one of these things, the real thing is over here, but because you have used wisdom to hold on to a stubborn belief rather than facing uncomfortable truths, and you have disguised yourself in order to appease your life and make it easier instead of face hard things and enter into survival and change and rebirth. There's something about you connecting with people. There's always something missing. I would advise you to be careful that, there might be this feeling of there's always something missing. And if you run into that, then just there's nowhere to go but within. And there's something that you have to sort in. Who am I? Because you need to stop disguising. No more 2 Facebook accounts. You need to mac it. He's throwing the left hand over your hand. You need to mac it. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Why is the Wheel of Fortune in your opportunity? All right. The first 2 cards that came out, the Wheel of Fortune is clarified by the 3 of Wands and also the 10 of Pentacles. This has to do with remaining optimistic that your legacy and your long-term goals are going to come together. And we do see this element of being the 3 of Wands being in your overall general energy, and also the 3 of Wands being in your opportunity, is definitely a year of patience. Patience is a skill that we must all master, and it's absolutely something that's going to come into play for you this year. But especially in terms of your financial long-term goals and your legacy and what you want to be known for, it just seems like, there's some sort of intellectual issue that you're working out within yourself. It's a challenge. It doesn't mean you're screwed at all. No, it's just a challenge. There's challenges in anything that you do. So don't make me reading the Queen of Swords as a challenge be the bad guy. It's just everyone has challenges. It's just what's coming up. And so the Wheel of Fortune clarified by that. But then you also have the 5 of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Strength card. And I do feel like there's a new beginning that's going to rock your world, or it's going to throw you for a loop. And at least this is your opportunity. It may have to come to do with you merging your animal self with your higher self. There could be a new opportunity for you to do that as well. I mean, you do have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands in your advice, so a relationship that will help you to explore your true physicality, your authentic expression physically. This may be something that really scares you, and you may try to avoid it. This is what I sense. I feel like there's a relationship coming in that could really strengthen you that you may be quick to avoid because it just seems scary, or it seems like there's a lot of risk involved. And remember, like I said, so just be aware of that for sure. I feel, and as well with Chameleon in reverse. Libra, never hang around with people who share the same defects as you. Never hang around with people, or you can, obviously, but I would suggest that you don't hang around with people who reinforce your own shortcomings or defects, right? For me, it's like I hang around with stockbrokers. I hang around with people who think I'm an idiot mystic. Not literally, but to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, you should have seen it. When I had to figure out my business stuff, I called my boys. They dragged me into a tax person. They're like, yo, this is the autistic mystic. Like, he's good. Just get his money in order. And I'm just like, thanks, bro. I mean, you cannot hang around with people. If you only hang around with mystics, if I only hang around with other autistic mystics, we're going to be idiots. And so I need to business people. I need work. And so there's something that's going to be easy for you. And the whole reason I'm ranting about that is for you. By the way, it's for you. And the whole reason I'm ranting about that is because there's going to be this opportunity for you to blend in with people this year that don't require you to change much, that you're all blending in. But it's not someone who has that polarity. So I feel like you're going to be afraid potentially to connect with people who are different than you. And I feel like that's a mistake. If you just hang around with people and that, there could also be a lot of people around you this year that are also blending in, that are also reinforcing some sort of intellectual belief that actually doesn't lead to rebirth, and it just kind of makes you repeat a cycle. So be careful that you're not just around a bunch of people that are just like blending in for the Libra Thursday nail club, So let's see why the Queen of Swords is here then in your challenge. Libra is the funniest sign out of all of them. And I mean that in a good way. Okay, so yeah, the Queen of Swords, first of all, is clarified by the Sun. A truth you don't want to see. Or maybe you do see it, and it's just painful. I'm not saying you don't see it, but there's a truth in your challenge. Ooh, and I said, I was saying, like, the Sun is in your challenge. You also have the Ace of Swords, the sword of truth, clarity in what you don't see coming. That leads to an ending. And then you have the Sun, and you have the Ace of Swords again. And just look at that. Look at that little angel hanging onto that creamsicle sword. I mean, that sword just looks like it was pulled from heaven, and it's in this 5D consciousness of cartoon-like stuff. But then you have the Page of Cups, and I feel like there's something that you're disconnecting from, that you're telling yourself is not full of wisdom and is too immature and is too... it's too... I don't know, not like there's something not refined enough. There's something here, like the Page of Cups in your challenge. You could be dealing with an immature individual, but I'm telling you, there could be a hint of truth that you don't want to look at, that this inner, it's like what I'm getting is like the child that is like calling out its mother, and like the mother is just like, that can't be right because it's my child. But it is right just because the person's being immature. So there's definitely some sort of truth that you're going to be confronted with that is your challenge. Okay, the Ace of Swords and the Sun is just clarity, light shining, but you may just be quick to rationalize this. You may be quick to shut down your heart, and instead of having fun, you're just gonna want to survive. Like the one thing that I'm proud of myself for is that I always have fun with this reality. I'm not just trying to survive. I'm always trying to have fun from a certain perspective. So maybe, I don't know why I'm saying this, but yeah, let's go to what you don't see coming. Let's get information on this. Why is the Two of Cups here in what you don't see coming? Libra, tell me about this relationship. Two of Cups and what you don't see coming is clarified by the Temperance card, the Death card, and also the Page of Swords here. So I do feel like there's going to be a relationship that you're questioning and that needs to come to an end. For a lot of you, this is going to be the person that you do know that you have a soul contract with, but you just know that it's time to move on because you're just incompatible. Okay, and you also do have the Page of Swords here, so there could be something you're very indecisive. You don't know whether you should end it or not. This is an existing relationship. For many of you as well, though, for others of you as well, what I'm sensing is a new love relationship coming in very quickly that literally just ends as quickly. I feel like there's something that you find out that you just say, that's a deal breaker, I'm out. So I'm predicting in what you don't see coming, a relationship coming in very fast and ending very fast romantically. But there also could be something about you choosing to move on from someone, is what I feel. So let's also just clarify the Queen of Wands in your advice. Because remember, the Queen of Wands in your advice is on the left hand, you have the King of Wands. On the right hand, you have a King of Cups. So you might just be like Libra, like, men have a duel for me. Yeah. Libra, let's see. All right, let's see, Libra. You paragon of civilization. Why is the Queen of Wands here for you? In your advice. Ooh. Yo. All right, this is all a process of self-discovery. It's no problem. But what I'm getting very strongly is this. You're going to be... The camera died real quick. What I get very strongly is this. It's almost like you're going to be... For many of you out there, you're going to be faced with a choice in love. Or you're going to be faced with different people that you want to surround yourself with. For some of you ladies, it's literally going to come down to two blokes that you just can't decide between. Or it's going to come down to whoever you are, and I sense this for all of you, just many, many different friends coming into your life, and more people. This is the advice, right? But you also have here the King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, and for many of you, what I get is the two people that you're trying to choose between or the type of person that you try to choose between, none of them are the right one. And the King of Pentacles is over here, but you're not even in a proper place to meet up with this person because the Queen of Swords is in your challenge, and it's clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Sun. And I feel like there's a truth that you have to understand about yourself before you can actually meet up with the right person. And it's like, it's impossible to be in a proper working relationship with other if you're not first in a proper working order relationship with yourself. And so until you know yourself, it's going to be impossible to get into the right relationship from a certain perspective. And I feel like there's a danger here of you trying to choose between two people and both of them aren't even the right one. And we're back to the whole cycle repeating. And that's what I sense for some of you. Now, for others of you, I sense not basing your relationships on money. I do feel like there's something here that you're going to be very quick to reject people who are not where you want them to be financially, but that could also be a big mistake for a lot of you. So for you, it's all about self-knowledge, and it's all about like taking joy in every step that you take. And it's not about saying, oh my God, this year is going to be another year of confusion. But confusion is part of why we incarnated. Mystery is a beautiful thing. Not everything is meant to be laid out for you. So ample relationships, just be careful not to ice people out that you think are immature. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun this year, Libra. But with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading.